Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here in selfdiscoverymedia.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful repeat guest is Megan Edge. She talks about your body's brilliance with essential oils, how it can build our immune system, how it can build an equilibrium. You know, all of us at the present moment are taking a big, deep sigh of relief to do with the American election. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Most people have had a wonderful sense of relief. We didn't realize how kind of anxious and uptight we were about it. And this is kind of a state of being that we've been in now for a while. You know, it's 9 months of COVID and of course all the unrest of 2020 and the shenanigans and everything else that's gone on. And it's the unsureness of what is happening in the future. So the oils are a wonderful way of working with the body. And since the beginning of time, the flowers, the plants, everything that's sense of smell, and the oils that come from them have been a wonderful healing modality. She says your body has an intelligence, and when listened to, will will tell you exactly what it needs for optimum health and awareness and wellness. Essential oils are derived from the plant medicine, which also has an intelligence towards health. When essential oils are utilized with your body's intelligence, a symbiotic relationship is created with benefits on so many levels: physical health, mental and emotional well-being, and spiritual ease. When you take action towards wellness, your body responds with an accelerated healing. She is a master healer. She works both physically and emotionally with essential oils in her healing work and will simplify how to use the oils in your daily life, which are the best ones for helping your stress, anxiety, boosting your immune system. She also shares how you can tune into your body's intelligence to hear the health wisdom that lies within you. I think we all need this at the present moment. We need some wisdom to do with our body. Because I said, you know, we talked about this just before going on here. The deep breath, the sigh around the world to do with the election. We're Canadians. You know, what's it to do with us? Well, the effect was a ripple effect around the world, and it wasn't a positive one. So now that we're seeing somebody about to exit and some common sense hopefully prevailing and entering, we feel a sense of belief, because we're that crack in the, you know, in the porcelain just means that something's going to give. And we've got the COVID going on, and then of course there's the economic, and you know, now we're in for other lockdowns. Everybody's actually at that really stress limit, and that stress limit has a really big effect on our immune system. And now we become vulnerable, vulnerable to the stress, vulnerable to the COVID, the flu, everything else that's going on in our body. We need help, don't we, Megan?
We do need help. And that help, I think, ultimately has to come from within in order for it to be at its most potent and its most powerful. And a lot of what I teach in my classes and to my clients is about how to access our internal intuition, how to flex that muscle, that trusting muscle, that we, in fact, know ourselves and what our needs are better than anyone else on the planet does. And yet we're not taught that. I know I can speak for my own experience as a child growing up. I was very fortunate to grow up in a foraging family where I learned about nature, I learned about the forest, I learned what foods I could eat and how those foods could benefit me. But even with that upbringing, there was still a heavy reliance on modern mainstream medicine. And I want to be very clear from the get-go, this is not about taking modern medicine down at all, at all. There is such a beautiful relationship that we can create between what we know and understand in modern medicine, how the body works, what its functions are, how our chemicals react, how our brain works, and this incredible, rich, ancient wisdom, as you were describing in the introduction, of the plants and the plant medicine. And so for me, it's always about building bridges between ancient knowledge, traditional knowledge, alternative knowledge, and what we consider to be modern medicine. Because in all honesty, nothing in modern medicine would exist if we didn't have the plants
Right.
and
People
the
don't
minerals.
realize that, do they? I mean, I know they synthesize everything to kind of today, but I mean, everything comes from the earth.
That's right. And I mean, Big Pharma is still sending scientists and researchers out into the remotest parts of the world to try to determine what's going to be the next great medicinal medicine breakthrough that is going to be coming from the plant realm and the minerals realm.
Mm.
I was at my cottage last week and I was collecting what we know here on the West Coast as old man's beard. Another name for it that people might be familiar with is, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, Uncia, or it's Usina. It's one or the other. And this lichen is being studied now for its effects on things like HIV and other viruses that wreak havoc to our immune system. There are components in this lichen, and lichen is one of the very first plants on the planet historically. There are elements in this plant that are showing us in scientific studies in the laboratory and in people's lives and health to be beneficial to helping us live our healthiest. So even though we were talking about plant medicine as being something ancient, essential oils as being something that we've derived from plants for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, it's also very much a modern strategy for medicine, is to go back to literally our roots and find those alloys, those chemicals, those components that the plants use to protect themselves that we can also use to protect ourselves.
I mean, we always say that human beings love to overcomplicate everything, the highfalutin over academy. And really, when you go to nature, it's extremely simple and very reliant and extremely consistent. It's
Mm-hmm.
been there for thousands of years. And since the cave days, they have discovered what these various plants can do.
Mm-hmm.
Some are edible, some need to make into the oil, some produced in different ways. But the whole point is that nature has always provided for us. This planet has got what they say that whatever disease is there, just a few feet away is the cure.
Yes.
And we get very caught up with diagnosis and we
Mm-hmm.
get stuck emotionally in the diagnosis. I know people personally who have either been given, oh, you haven't got long to live because of your heart, or you've got cancer, and literally in a week or two dead. They
Yeah.
just gave up. And we don't take seriously the emotional aspect of our health. And we think that all these things that are happening to us is an external thing when we don't realize there's an internal equilibrium that you need to have in order to ward off the external bombardment. Oils are a wonderful way and wonderful way of actually mixing together like a symphony that
Mm.
really is really wonderful at dancing with your whole psyche and calming it down and rebuilding your body. And the beautiful thing about oils is it doesn't matter where you put it, it will get into that bloodstream and go where it needs to go.
Yeah, the amount of science that's being done right now, the amount of research that's being done to determine or to understand how is it that these essential oils, these when they're pure therapeutic grade essential oils, how do they impact our body? How
Yeah.
do they impact our spirit, our mind, our emotions? And the research is fascinating. And there's over 300,000, the number grows every day, of research studies that are being done specifically on essential oils around the world. Countries are collaborating with one another to better understand the potency of this type of medicine. And I find that so empowering, and I also find it so interesting when we start looking at human psychology,
Mm.
how if you go online and you look on the internet and you look up essential oils, you're going to find some very confusing information about the effect, the efficacy, the morality. Should we, shouldn't we? Should we ingest them? Should we never? How do we use them? And whether the whole thing is just a whole bunch of hooey or
Yes.
is actually founded in hard science. And I think that kind of information, the way that it's so contradictory, can be very overwhelming for a lot of people, to the point where they may just throw their hands up and say, I'm just going to go take an aspirin or
Yeah.
a Tylenol or my
Yeah.
antidepressant or whatever. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not advocating don't do that. What I'm saying is do that, but then also,
Yes.
add this.
Hmm.
Because when you do start to do the research, if you go to PubMed, it's an American site that looks at, or it's a place for scientists to put their information, to put their studies. It's very highly regarded by major universities around the world. That's where you're going to find the information that you need to make informed decisions about your health, especially when it comes to the brilliance of your body. And that's what I mean by that, is that your body knows exactly what it needs
Hmm.
to be healthy. Your job is to learn how to listen to that, how to trust your intuition, how to trust your knowledge, how to be discerning, and how to work with something like the essential oils, not only from the physical, but also from the spiritual and the emotional and the energetic. That area of understanding is not something that our doctors are generally taught, our mainstream doctors or our mainstream psychologists. And it's certainly not something that most individual people learn growing up. We learn to become very reliant on the diagnosis, like you were just saying.
Yes.
And there's
Hmm.
a whole psychology of diagnosis, or even I would call it a psychosis of diagnosis. I like that term. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
let's quote that. A psygnosis of diagnosis, where when we receive news about our health from an external source, especially if that source happens to be wearing a white coat,
Yeah.
we give all of our authority to that diagnosis.
Hmm.
And I'll use as an example one of my own experiences when I discovered, or was told, or it was demonstrated to me that I most likely had fibromyalgia. I was very fortunate that I had a naturopath at the time who was able to take an hour and a half with me, which of course our regular doctors aren't able to do, and really go through everything that I was experiencing. And instead of saying to me, "You have fibromyalgia," she said, "Have you ever heard of fibromyalgia?" And at the time I hadn't. I said, "No." She said, "I'd like you to go home and do some research. And I want you to come back to me and let me know if what you find feels like something that you've been experiencing, something that's familiar." So right away, she empowered me
Right.
to do my own research. And then to decide that if the parameters of fibromyalgia fit what I was experiencing, then I got to make the assessment of myself. And what I've always said since then, and that was 13 years ago, 14 years ago, what I've always said since then is I have been given a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, but I have chosen not to define my experience
Right.
as being fibromyalgia,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
difference. It's subtle, but
Yes.
it's very powerful,
Yeah.
very
I've
powerful.
had it for 23 years. And of course, when it first came out, nobody really knew anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually interviewed who was my doctor, kind of one of the leading doctors who studied it, and he was saying it's just something that you've just got to learn to manage. And so I've learned to have a partnership with my fibro.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ignore it; it's there,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we have an agreement. Let me do what I want to do, and I will listen to my body when it says too much, or
Right.
you need to step back, or you need to do that. And I think it doesn't matter whether it's fibro, whether it's cancer, whatever it is that your body's been bombarded with and you are only able to manage and not necessarily cure.
Mm-hmm.
um, it's then okay, all right, I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do with it? How do
Right.
I empower myself to build my immune system up, to my psyche, so that I don't go down that rabbit hole? Because most people
Mm-hmm.
go down the rabbit hole. I've got fibromyalgia in my body. I
That's
can never
right.
work again. This da, da, da. And it's like, okay, you may be limited. You can't do that again. Or you
Mm-hmm.
can't do that again. But it now opens the door to what else you can do. And I
Right.
think that it doesn't matter what diagnosis we get on everything. I think then this is why the show is called Your Health is Your Choice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay, I have got this, I need to understand what it is. What can I do to empower my body, my psyche to deal with it? And
Right.
know when it's knocking on the door and I go, okay, all right, I'm giving you the day. My body needs the day. All right, you've got it. I heard you. You want rest. Um,
Yeah.
and not look at it as the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yes, exactly. And that's the brilliance of your body. That's what I'm
mm,
talking about. That's why I called the show this, the brilliance of your body with essential oils. If you learn to listen to your body,
mhm,
not everybody else's opinion,
Right.
or diagnosis or ideas or even their experiences. But if you listen to your own body, if you tune in and you ask every morning of your body, what do you need from me today? You are creating this beautiful relationship with your body. Your body is an intelligent being.
Yes.
And I believe that there's a symbiotic relationship that we're in between our mind, our body, and our soul.
Mm-hmm.
And when all three of those aspects of ourself are working together, then we get to experience whatever our personal optimum health is. Right? So, with a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, like you say, it may be unlikely that I'm ever going to climb Mount Everest, but
Right.
maybe I will
Mentally,
within the right.
you can do anything in your dreams or in your
I
vision, right?
I
Just the
can
body
if I
can't.
right if I decide that my fibromyalgia and climbing Mount I was going to say Mount Rainier again or Mount Olympus climbing a mountain.
Yes.
If the two are not mutually exclusive, then I can do whatever I choose to do, especially if I choose to ask my body, okay, what do I need? What do you
Mm.
need, body, for me to be able to climb this mountain
Yes.
or face
Yes.
this day
Yeah.
or deal with this crisis or this stressor or the fear or whatever it is? If I am working together with my body, then I'm in a really beautiful relationship. It's like any relationship.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage,
Yes.
it's like a friendship. It takes work, and sometimes the relationship takes a hit, and sometimes we lose faith in the other partner, like sometimes
Hmm.
we lose faith in our bodies.
You're wanting too much attention.
That's right. But if we're able to really see it from that perspective, that this is a relationship between mind, body, and soul, then when we get really quiet and really clear, what is it that I need? This is when we're going to start to hear the guidance and wisdom that our body has. And the body might say, I need more water today.
Yeah.
I need you to stop eating donuts. I need a salad.
Yes.
Yes, I need my Tylenol today, or I need my muscle relaxant
Mm.
today for the spasms. And I also need a hit of sage essential oil
Mm.
because it's an anti-inflammatory and anti-spasmodic. And I believe that the more that we educate ourselves about alternative medicines, the more we can support the work that a mainstream medicine is meant to do. And studies have shown that using alternative medicines like essential oils actually heightens the
Yeah.
efficacy of our mainstream medicines.
Yes.
So if you've got a bad headache and you take that Tylenol, but you also put lavender in your diffuser, again, pure medical grade lavender,
Yep. Right
the
here.
lavender is
Yeah.
going to help your body absorb the Tylenol better.
Yes. Right.
And just
And it,
it's so brilliant.
mm. Yeah, and the thing about it, what I love about these particular oils, which, there's a company that you represent, Young Living, and what I love about the oils is, I get the tightness across the forehead. I can literally
Mm,
just take a drop and just rub it across the forehead, and rub it behind the ears, or rub it, where the veins are, so I know that it's going in there. And
mhm,
you've got to, I love lavender and peppermint together. I find
mhm,
them really, really well balanced, and that's the beauty of it. Is you look at people go, well, that's such a small bottle. That's not going to last long. Yes, it is, because you literally are one or two drops at a time, and then
that's
you can
right.
mix it with other things, in a solution. You can roll it on, you can spray it on, and the whole thing
Mhm,
is a little goes a very long way. We're
yes.
very often with the Western medicine, oh God, the headache is still pounding at an hour later, I'll take another pill,
Mhm,
right? And then we don't
mhm,
want to go to another pill because our stomach doesn't like it.
yes,
So what else can we go to?
that's
If
right.
you've really got that major headache, what else can you go to that can help you, beat this, calm
Mhm,
everything down? And very often it is more the natural solutions that will do it. It might not work immediately.
mhm,
Give it time. That's the whole thing. Everybody wants everything to be instant. Look, it's 5 minutes, not working.
yeah.
It's got to get into your bloodstream. It's got to travel. It's got to get to those areas that need,
Mhm.
soothing. So that's something we've also got to be patient with, isn't it? Stop looking for the instant fix.
That's right. And although there are times when some of these essential oils can have an immediate
Mm,
effect, there's a really beautiful blend that Young Living's created called Digize. And it is,
mm,
as it sounds, a digestive blend that when applied topically to the abdominal area, there you go.
yeah,
It's one of
right
my
here.
go-tos, my
Hmm.
absolute go-to. It gets absorbed into the body, and the mechanism within the gut, it not only does it calm things like spasms, which is often the cause of belly aches, is because the colon is spasming. It also helps to support the gut flora and fauna.
Mm.
So creating a good environment for the healthy bacteria in your gut. And the more that you use it on a regular basis, the greater the boost to the body. And what essential oils essentially do is that they help the body take care of itself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It helps the body function at a higher level so that all of the processes that are happening within the body, the digestion, elimination, blood flow, all of that at the physical level, it helps the body do it better. It helps the body do a better job of what the body is supposed to be doing
Mm-hmm.
within that brilliance and that wisdom. The difference between, say, taking a Tylenol or a pain medication and a synthetic pain medication and using an essential oil, and this may sound a bit woo-hooey to some people, but just bear with me. A tablet that you get out of a bottle that you buy at a pharmacy that is made by a pharmaceutical company is synthetic. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they can make so many of them and make them so inexpensively. They have found ways to synthesize the natural medicine that they have based that pill off of. So willow bark and willow leaves has natural aspirin in it. Aspirin comes from, originally it came from willow trees. Then it was synthesized. So with a synthetic medication, there is no life force.
Right.
It is inert. It
Mm-hmm.
affects chemical signals in our body, and that creates the result of it. And that can be very helpful. Absolutely. But a plant medicine retains its intelligence. That makes it a smart medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And what studies are showing is that when it goes into our body, it knows where to go.
Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
unlike, say, a full spectrum antibiotic that will kill all of the bacteria in your body, including the good bacteria, most bacteria is good bacteria.
Yes.
A natural antibiotic plant medicine will target the bad bacteria. And we're still trying to understand how that happens, but what we do know is that it does happen that way. So these are alive. When you get a bottle of essential oil, that's like, again, that pure therapeutic, not off the grocery store shelf,
Right.
that medicine is still alive, even though it's gone through a process of distillation. It has a living intelligence to it. Our
Yeah.
bodies are alive and have a living intelligence to it. And
Right.
so therein becomes the symbiotic relationship between the two of
Right.
them.
I've got tea tree here, which is just,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. I mean, it is kind of like the natural antibiotic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In any cuts or scrapes or anything like that, it's wonderful. It's wonderful at kind of healing the system. And then, this is what I've always loved about the oils is the fact it doesn't matter where you put it, it's going to go where it needs to go. It
Yeah.
knows where to go to heal it. Ah, no, no, I don't care if you put it behind your ear. Your toe needs help. I'm going to go down to your toe because it's what's in distress. And very
Mm-hmm.
often, when our body is in distress, we really don't know where the source of that distress is
Mm-hmm.
because what we're doing is we're being absorbed by the symptom.
That's right.
Right now, if you've got gas, if your stomach is rumbling, if it's, backfiring, it's that flora that isn't working properly. It's upset. So
Mm-hmm.
the oils know how to go in there and just simply calm everything down.
Mm-hmm.
It's like mother going in there, soothing the child, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the oils. As you said, the pill goes into that digestive tract. Many people are allergic to them because they upset
Mm-hmm.
the stomach before they get into the bloodstream.
That's right.
And, with the oils, you don't need to worry about that. It will go where
Mm-hmm.
it needs to go. It's very, very rare you have somebody that is allergic to an oil.
Yes, that is very true, especially if, again, I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face, a therapeutic medical
Yeah.
grade essential oil that has no adulteration done to it. It has not been extended. It doesn't have any alcohols or solvents in it. It hasn't been double or triple distilled to try to get more out of the plant. Then the likelihood of having an allergic reaction, and certainly not a life-threatening reaction, is very, very minimal.
Yeah.
Very minimal. And if you look at statistics, the number of people who are admitted to hospital for conflict between over-the-counter medications or prescription medications that they have taken, and the number of deaths that result from that are in the hundreds of thousands a
Oh,
year
yeah.
in North America.
Yes. 20
Zero.
years ago, it was 400,000 a year.
Yeah.
due to just really question mark. Was it a
Hmm.
reaction to the drugs? Was it this? Was it that? They just don't know. 400,000 a year, that was 20 years ago.
Yes, exactly. And now the strength of the medications that we have, the broad spectrum of the medications that we have, and the availability of the medications that we have mean that there are interactions happening all the time, and some of them are very life threatening. And these are the very things that are supposed to help us feel better.
Opioids, for one.
Yes, yeah, that's a huge one. When you look at the statistics, there are zero cases or incidents of somebody dying
Mm,
because of an interaction with a pure medical grade essential oil.
right,
That's
right.
the statistic I've seen. If somebody else has other statistics, that's fine. I don't have to be right about it. But even if there's a percentage, the difference between the interactions between mainstream medicine and the interactions between essential oils, there's no comparison. And in fact, when you blend essential oils, you get an even more effective um, product because the oils themselves, they change when they start working with one another. So
Mm,
instead of counteracting each other, they very often will boost the efficiency of the individual oils or create something completely new. It's like an alchemy,
right,
being
yeah.
two separate things that come together. So you're talking about lavender and peppermint.
Mm,
Lavender on its own is phenomenal, and it's one of the most studied essential oils. Peppermint, that's an amazing one for so many things. It boosts your immune system. It's
mm,
for focus. There's so many different things that it's good for. Then add lemon.
mm.
Those three essential oils together make a beautiful antihistamine.
Ah,
Yeah,
ah. Right. I
right.
haven't mixed that yet. I've got your list. The mixing is coming because I certainly do need that. Um,
Mm,
there's another factor here too, is I mentioned opioid because the opioid, which was meant to be there for people who are in extreme pain, but look
mhm.
at the addiction.
Yeah.
Here in BC, the amount of deaths that have happened through the opioids, I think, is more than the COVID.
It
Of
is a
over,
crisis.
it's an absolute crisis, and
Yeah.
it's because the body is craving something, but what it's craving is also what its detriment.
Hmm.
And so the thing about oils is that you don't become addicted, except for the fact that if you're so good on them
Yeah,
and they're doing your body so good that you maintain your body and your psyche with them. But
that's right.
it's not the same kind of addiction that so many, I've done quite a number of shows on opioid addiction. They all came
Hmm.
from somebody who, had an accident or an operation and even ended up in a life of crime in order to maintain it because it was
Yeah,
so strong on them.
yeah.
And that's not just the opioids. So many people are, become addicted to like cigarettes.
Mm,
Look at what they've got in the cigarettes
yes.
that make people addicted. So the thing is, your health is your choice of what you put in and on your body,
It
right? And
absolutely is. Yes.
there are answers out there.
Yeah.
And this is a simple one because it's been around since Earth was first materialized. These
Hmm.
oils have been there, these plants have been there. The animals have been eating them to sustain their own health. And, we've been extracting oils since God knows when.
Yeah.
The Egyptians were really big on that. Um, and it seems strange that it's taken so long for us as a Western society to understand the impact
Hmm.
and the benefit of these oils.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of that is to the fact that people have synthesized. I remember, I think it was 95, France's they beautiful lavender fields in France,
Yes.
and they sold more lavender oil by three
Hmm.
times more than what they produced.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes, and that's still the case.
yes, and there's a
Yeah.
huge question mark. Hang on. Well, if it's three times more than what you've produced, what else is in there? And it's the
Yes.
people are having the experience with the bad oils
Yeah.
that they go, oh, I hate these oils. They don't work. But
That's right.
it's like with anything, it's like good chocolate versus bad chocolate.
Yeah.
You can eat good chocolate, no
Hmm.
problem whatsoever. Eat the bad chocolate, and it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful as consumers of what our product is, don't we?
We absolutely do. And I'm really glad that you brought that point up. There are basically two reasons why someone would have an adverse or negative reaction from an essential oil. And one is because that oil is not a pure essential oil.
Hmm.
It has been augmented with solvents and chemicals and extenders, or it has been redistilled and redistilled and redistilled to get a sweeter and sweeter product with virtually no medicine in it.
Right.
You can out process the medicine that exists in plants by over processing it.
Yeah.
So those are the two main reasons why someone would not have a good experience with essential oils. It really comes down to buyer beware. The
Hmm.
same is true of mainstream medicine. And I would challenge anyone who is so determined that essential oils are not good medicine to ask the same kinds of questions that they are asking of essential oils of their mainstream medicine,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
find out exactly what is in that medication. Where does that medication come from? What is the process of its creation? What is our understanding of how it even works? And have that same critical eye to that medication as they are applying to the essential oil, just as an exercise to see what they learn about what is actually going into their bodies when they're using modern medicine. Now, I said at the beginning of the show, I'm not trying
Yeah.
to, give mainstream medicine a hard time or bash it. I've had 17 surgeries in my life. I wouldn't be here. I would not be alive
Right.
right now if it were not for mainstream medicine. And I appreciate how certain medications can be very valuable under certain circumstances. What I have seen, what I know to be true, is that modern medicine is excellent in the emergency.
Yes.
It knows how to react and respond and deal with what is immediately in front of it. And we need that. There are times when we need that. If
Yes.
I break my arm, I'm
Mm.
going to the emergency room to get a cast put on.
Right. No
I'm
amount of
also
oil is going to fix it.
no matter what is going to fix it. However, I am going to use my oils for shock.
Yes.
I'm going to use my oils for any feelings of despair that I may go into, because now I can't use my arm, or any sort of what's the right word, like feeling sorry for myself because
Yeah.
I've broken my arm, like the psychology of the
Yes.
injury or the trauma,
Hmm.
PTSD that might come from that experience, that I'm going to use my oils for. And interestingly, Gary Young, if anyone's interested, this is an amazing book. I'm not going to go into all the details of it because it's quite a big one, but this is a book written by his wife before he passed and then after his passing, that looks at his story, his journey with essential oils, the science behind them, and the various ways in which he learned and taught himself about essential oils, including how essential oils can help with PTSD.
Mm.
And this is near and dear to my heart because I work with a lot of clients who have PTSD, who have gone through a lot of trauma in their lives, and in some cases have turned to the opioids, have turned to
Yes.
drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and pot and whatever else it is to help them function through the day, to deal with the pain that they're in, whether it's psychological or emotional or physical pain. Gary Young devised a protocol for veterans coming back from war zones to help with their PTSD that turned modern psychology on its ear, because modern psychology will tell us that if you have PTSD, it is a condition,
Hmm.
it is lifelong.
Hmm.
You must learn to live with it.
Hmm.
Gary decided that maybe that wasn't entirely true for everybody. And he set together a program using very, very specific essential oils to help with healing the brain, healing the trauma centers in the brain, understanding the person's story,
Hmm.
healing the spirit, as well as healing the physical body. And he knew how to do this because of his own experiences with PTSD and trauma. His story is quite phenomenal. So his research at the psychology level as well as at the physical level, and the research of all the scientists around the world right now who are working with essential oils, really makes it very clear that it is possible for us to heal the origin of our emotional response to the world, of our energetic response to the world, and of what's going on in our physical bodies. And what's so amazing to me is that these oils are available to us,
Right.
right?
Right.
And they're not expensive. They can be very costly. There are
Hmm.
certain blends, like I've got, where's my jasmine here? This is jasmine. Beautiful. I love, love, love jasmine. There's a number of different farms around the world that Young Living partners with, and their own farms where they grow jasmine. It's very expensive because of the process. It
Yeah.
takes so many thousands of pounds Of fresh flowers that have to be picked at a certain time of the day. And it's a very delicate process. And so the bottle itself, this little bottle, 5 mils, is over $100. I've paid more than that for a synthetic perfume when I was younger, to be
Right.
perfectly
Mm,
frank.
mm,
Um, and I know that there's 90 to 100 drops in this. So when I do the math, this
mm.
is actually for my health. I'd rather have 2 drops of this in the morning for the $5 or $6 it's going to cost than to take a prescription drug if I don't have to,
Right.
or a cup of coffee. I do drink coffee, but I always put my essential oils in my coffee. But you know what I mean? It's really about looking at the value of your own health and what you're willing to invest in that value.
And a lot of people will say, okay, yes, I really want to, but I just don't know what and I don't know how.
Right.
And that's why they need people like you, because
Mm.
uh, we met for lunch the other day, and I said, I've got my notes, here they are, a whole load of notes. What do I
Yes.
mix with what for what? And
Yeah.
because it can be rather overbearing, I've got all of these oils here, and it can be, well, what goes with what?
Yeah.
And this is where you need someone to guide you, and who's very, very in tune to your health in the first place, which you are, because it's
Mm.
not just essential oils that you do.
Hmm.
You really understand the healing modality of the body, and of course, your book in the background there is all about that.
Yes.
Which I want people to go back and listen to our first show, because we do talk about that. We do talk about your journey into everything else that you do, which I know that you've had to put on pause right now and kind of redirect yourself during the COVID times. So you've gone
Hmm.
back to the earth, you've
Yes.
gone back to the soil, and it's all part and parcel of it. It's just that you can't work on the bodies as you were before, so you're working on it a different way. But we
Hmm.
do need to find somebody that we can talk to and say, look, these are my symptoms, these are my aches and pains. Because, as I said, those are symptoms. We don't know what the cause is.
Hmm.
And I think one of the most important things is first and foremost is, okay, this is your issue. Your stomach is turmoiling all the time because of your stress level, your anxiety. Well, obviously, the dye glass is good for the stomach to calm it down, but then a combination of lavender and something else to calm your whole psyche down.
Yeah.
Because then when your spirit and everything else is calm,
Hmm.
now you can see what prevails.
Yes.
I've got a pain here, I've got a pain there. It was masked before because of everything else. So
Yes.
you do need someone like you, and of course, this is what you do,
Hmm.
um, to navigate how to put the oils together. And the beauty of it is that you can get a roll on, or you can get a spray, one or two oils mixed with something else in a different formula, which is grapeseed oil or other things that you can put it in. What's that? No, show that
Oh,
because it.
because of the spray bottle. So this is my ninth chakra spray oil. Ninth chakra is something that I teach on. It's a little known chakra that is back in the body, the way that I teach on it. For each of the chakras, I've created essential oil spray that helps support the way that we work with that chakra, the things that show up in our bodies
Yeah.
in that chakra. And it's all about what you're talking about, body language and listening to the aches and pains.
Yes.
And I was showing it because this is what a perfect little spray bottle looks like. And it's water. There's a stabilizer. I usually use a vodka because it has no smell to it. It doesn't
Mhm.
alter the smell of the essential oils, and just a little bit to keep the water from going stagnant. And then the blend of essential oils that help on the spiritual level, the energetic level, and the emotional level of the chakra. But it can be something really simple like your lavender, peppermint, and lemon
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
one of the spray bottles. Anybody can make them. It's magical, but it's really not a mystery.
Right, exactly. And it's just a question of being guided. And this is what you do. You
Yes.
guide people how to put things together. And the thing
Hmm.
is that, okay, yeah, I know you've got a pain there,
Yes.
but what's causing the pain? Let's first calm everything down. Let's
Right.
calm the psyche, the mind, the soul, the spirit, the heart down. Now,
Hmm.
is the pain still there? Okay. If the pain is still there, now we know where directionally to go because everything else has calmed down. But we don't realize how much of this being tense. Oh, COVID, 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 economics, economics, Trump, 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 Trump. All of this that has played psyche on us. Like the world took a deep breath at
Yes.
this election. We didn't realize how tense we were. And that tension is what's causing so much distress in our
Hmm.
body. Calm the tension down.
Yes.
Now the body actually can actually directly speak to you as to what the problem is. But it's very hard for the body to get attention if everything else is kind of completely tensed up.
And where people end up with chronic conditions, chronic pain, chronic distress is because they're only addressing the physical symptom
Mm-hmm.
of that pain, and
Mm-hmm.
no one is guiding them into understanding where the emotional and the energetic source of that pain is coming from. So in the philosophy that I work with, in the healing philosophy, it is that any physical symptom that shows up for you, whether it's an injury or an illness or a systemic problem, has a source in an emotional and energetic experience fundamentally. So what you're saying is exactly true. Once we have calmed down the inflammation, once we have calmed down the fear and anxiety around the pain that we're in, I've been in chronic pain. I get it.
Oh,
It takes
yeah.
you out. It's hard to
You
think, what
can't
oil do I
focus on
need?
anything. Yeah.
Right, when your back's
Pain.
in spasm.
Yeah.
Um, but once we've understood what is happening at the physical level and what we can do to ease that, then I want to help my client understand what is the event, or what is the belief system, or what is the relationship that is at the source of the body's need to get your attention.
Yeah.
Because your body isn't just getting your attention because your back hurts. Your body's getting your attention because your back hurts because you don't feel like anyone has your back.
Mm.
And you learned that in childhood
Yes.
when that first person betrayed you or stabbed you in the back. I mean, the reason we have this language, like
Right.
stab you in the back, is
Yeah.
because there's an understanding at some level that the emotional experience creates a physical sensation.
Mm.
If we can heal the emotional experience, we can heal the physical sensation. That's one of the things that's so brilliant about these oils. One of the oils I have here is chamomile, Roman chamomile. So it's an anti-inflammatory, it's an anti-spasmodic at the physical level. At the emotional level, at the central nervous system level, when you breathe in chamomile, oh, everything starts to calm down. It's why it's used as a sleep aid, because it
Mm.
actually
Yes.
impacts the central nervous system, and it brings you down a notch or two. Vetiver does the same thing very powerfully. Valerian, some people might be familiar with valerian as a sleep aid. It has an essential oil.
Mm.
If you were to mix essential oil of valerian with lavender, in fact, we do this for my younger daughter. We have it in a spray bottle like the one I just showed you next to her bed at night, and I spray her bed before she gets into it with the valerian lavender blend, and we breathe it in, and I watch her go from, well, I'm 15 and I'm, a teenager and I've got all this stuff going on and angst, and or whatever else it happens to be, or she's super excited, or to, oh, okay, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
And there's a communication that's happening there between the action that we have taken of pulling out the tool, which is the blend of essential oils, spraying it on her bed, and her body saying, oh, good, you're looking after me.
Mm.
And it goes back to what I was talking about. The relationship that we have with our bodies is like any kind of marriage. We need to take care of each other. And
Mm.
when we do something, when we take an action, we listen to our body and then we take the action the body is asking of us, our body's capacity to heal increases tenfold. It's amazing.
And of course, when our body is at ease and gets into a good deep sleep, it repairs itself. Right.
Mhm.
This is why we need to get into a deep sleep, because that's where it goes in, and just,
Mhm.
it's all the little repair kits come out and do while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
If you are a person that suffers from pain, if you're in a deep sleep, that pain isn't going to be screaming. So the being calm and just being able to let go is essential for your body.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, as I said, with the fibro and a few other things as well, pain is just one of those things that is constantly there. And I
Mhm.
can see, times that it's screaming and it's go, oh, I have to bring this down. I have to bring this down a notch, a few notches. And
Mhm.
sometimes you can't do it, on your own. You need that help to bring it down, so that, okay, all right, there you go, body. Sorry. you know, yeah, I've now calmed everything down. You can go and do whatever you need to do. But
Yeah.
we don't realize how much our psyche and our body are one, and
Mhm.
they are a team, and they need to work together, and you can't just attend to one without the other. We're a whole.
That's right. You can. And if you're somebody who's needing to see a psychiatrist or a counselor, whether it's someone like myself who does alternative counseling or it's mainstream counseling, or a medical doctor or an alternative medical doctor for your symptoms, I really encourage you to make sure that you are both taking care of the physical body
Yes.
and of the mental emotional body. If you just go to see a counselor, your pain will remain. If you just go to see your doctor, the pain will remain. It's like the relationship between a chiropractor and a massage therapist. Muscles and bones are attached to one another. If you just work on the muscles, but you don't correct the alignment, then the muscles are going to pull the alignment back, and vice versa. It's the same thing with our psychology, our physical body, the things we believe to be true about ourselves and how that shows up in our body. And to bring it back to something like the essential oils, if I take some drops of orange in my water in the morning, which I do very often, I'm doing that because it's really good for my liver. Orange oil, essential orange oil, is excellent for liver cleanses. I'm also doing it because when I breathe in the orange oil, it hits a part of my brain that lights up the feel good chemicals, and I get a cascade of serotonin.
Mm.
Oh, awesome. So now my liver's functioning, it's getting kickstarted for the day. So now I can have my coffee.
Yes.
And my brain through the olfactory senses has been lit up and I feel good. And orange is used for children with anxiety, with ADHD, with focus problems, with depression. It's used after surgery. It's being used extensively in long-term care facilities and in old age homes and even end-of-life care facilities to help people feel better,
Yeah.
because it does. It
Yeah.
helps them to feel better.
Yeah, yeah. I had a good sniff and whiff of it this morning before I did that, before I came on the show because I was feeling a bit sluggish today. And
Mm.
another thing with fiber, of course, it's very weather related.
Mhm.
And in the moment the weather changes, the body, goes along with
Yeah,
it. And it's like, I don't want to be sluggish today, thank you.
yeah,
Sniff up
yeah,
some orange and I feel good. So,
yeah.
but this is a new one I've got, and I've forgotten what it's about. So let's tell it. Elemi.
Yes. So elemi is related to frankincense. It's in the same family, and it's the resin of the elemi tree that is used to make the essential oil. So it's a distillation process, just like with the other resins like myrrh and frankincense and Northern Lights black spruce, any of those trees. So it's the resin that's being used. Elemi was discovered to be incredibly nourishing for the skin at the very end of the last century, like the 1800s. And it became a staple for the cosmetic industry, especially in France, to the point where the elemi tree was almost extinct.
Wow.
There was one small part in the Philippines where the elemi tree still grew, but the people who were harvesting it, the farmers, were basically doing slash and burn with it because that's how they would get their highest prices. Gary Young and Young Living came in and said, hang on, I think we can do this better, and saved one of the elemi plantations, and through education and through support and through grants and financing and so forth, helped the whole community understand and learn the value of extracting the elemi in a way that is for long-term use. What's
Yes.
the word I'm looking for? Sustainable is the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. And then started doing more research on elemi to discover some of the other constituents. So yes, it's very nourishing for your skin. And in the same way that frankincense is or has been demonstrated to be anti-cancerous in certain circumstances, certainly is excellent for healing of scars and wounds and bruising, and is a connection to helps us connect to spirit. It's used in churches and temples and mosques
Right.
all over the
Yes.
world. Elemi is able to do very similar things for us, but at a much less cost for production.
Right.
So elemi is much more attainable for many people than a bottle of elemi is more attainable for people than a bottle of frankincense might be, with very, very similar effect. So you can use it in your bath water, you can use it in your lotions, you can put a few drops on
Mm.
your hand lotion and rub your hands together, breathe it in. You can put it directly on your skin. It's one of the very gentle oils. It doesn't require a carrier oil to be used, although it's best to use a carrier oil because then it gets into your skin faster instead of evaporating.
Right.
But a few drops on your hand, rub your hands together, breathe it in. It has a very beautiful, soft scent. Frankincense can be sharp, whereas
Hmm.
elemi tends to be softer.
Hmm.
So many benefits to using it. And when you are purchasing it through a company like Young Living that has such an amazing track record, you know that you're getting it from the source, that it's sustained, that the community is being supported through the production of this, and that you're getting this beautiful, pure, medical grade therapeutic oil. It's wonderful. I love it.
Well, our body is meant to carry a certain amount of oil. Right. And,
Yeah.
we're showering every day and soap and this and that. We strip the oils from our body and we're not kind of
Mhm.
making it from the inside. And so, again, those oils are essential on your body. It's like people wash their hair every day. You're drying it
Mm.
out at the scalp level, the hair.
Yeah.
We're not really designed to be in water every day using these harsh chemicals of soap, which of course
Mm.
you have in the aromatherapy, the soaps and the cleaning materials,
Mhm.
and because we're busy, especially right now, washing hands every 5 seconds,
Mm.
right? And it's so drying on the skin. And
Mhm.
but also every time you're using those chemical things, especially those hand sanitizers,
Yes.
those chemical things are in your bloodstream all the time. So,
Yeah.
Young Living has actually an alternative to that as well, right?
Yeah, so they've got a blend called Thieves, and it's the original Thieves recipe that Gary Young found in old records from the 1700s when the last plague went through Europe,
Mm-hmm.
late 1600s, early 1700s. The blend of herbal oils that are in it and some of the seed oils that are in it, like clove, are very strongly antibacterial and antiviral. And when blended together, they create this synergistic relationship, like I was talking about earlier. So they've created an entire line of body and household
Mm-hmm.
products that help. If you use them on a daily basis, they help to create a really clean environment. They help your liver to process any of the chemicals that are in your environment, get them out of your
Mm-hmm.
system. They have a hand sanitizer that's absolutely beautiful because while it still has the alcohol level in it that is required by law to be called a hand sanitizer, it also has all of these beautiful oils that help to support tea tree. Is
Yes.
another one that helps to support cinnamon. I think is in that one too. I actually should have the list in front of me, and I apologize that I
That's
don't.
okay.
But maybe we
They
can
can
post that.
contact you. They can contact you on
That's
that.
right. They can contact me. Um, and so you can get the blend and use that in your diffuser. I actually just made a lip balm with the thieves oil over the weekend, which I'm really excited to be using because then it's right on my mouth
Mhm.
and I'm ingesting it, which yes, you can do with essential oils.
Yes.
Just as a quick aside, think of any food flavoring you've ever used. Think of Vicks Vapor Rub. Think of
Hmm.
Pine Sol. Those are all essential oils. Well, they're not anymore, but they were originally.
Right.
You've been ingesting essential oils your whole life, so that's a whole other show. But the point being, you can. What a lot of people do with the Thieves blend is to put a drop on their thumb and then put their thumb up at the roof of their mouth so that it instantly goes into the whole system. If they're starting to feel a little bit like a cold's coming on or a little bit like a flu is coming on, and we're not able to make claims as to what
Yeah.
these oils can do. There are laws and they're in place for a reason. What we can say is that our own experience of them has been very successful.
And it enhances the body.
It
Right.
enhances the
Yes.
body.
Rather than cure. Yes, I know. But legally, that's the only we can say. Christmas is coming up. And
Mhm.
you know what? I've started to buy these wonderful lip balms, which
Oh
actually is
yes, the lip balms are the
looking a
ones.
bit
Yeah.
washed out here.
Mhm.
These lip balms I've bought for my kids and family in the past, they love them,
Mhm.
absolutely love them. And they make a wonderful gift. They
Mhm.
really do. They actually have, in the magazine for Christmas this year, they actually have, the lip balm package that you can get in a little pouch and, other things that you can do with it. But I like to just take them and in my little goodie bag that I make for certain people, drop one in,
Mm. Yeah.
along with all the other goodies, which is generally socks and some other goodies and,
Yeah.
and the lip balm. And we're in winter,
Mhm.
lips get chapped.
Yeah.
I find my lips get dry at night. And so it's nice to have the lip balm. And it's, how you put on some lip balms go "Mwah, mwah, mwah," like this,
Mhm.
just feels like you've just stuck glue to your lips. you
Yes.
know
Yeah.
this doesn't at all. And
No.
you've got so many flavors. You've got cinnamon, lavender, um what's this one? I'm sorry, I haven't got my glasses on.
Oh,
Need
they've got a
glasses.
new one. Vanilla Mint is their new one this year.
Yes, the vanilla mint and the cinnamon and the
Mhm.
lavender and the grapefruit.
Yeah.
And
I would,
so,
for anyone putting anything on their lips, please make sure that you can eat everything that's in that product, whether it's a lipstick or a lip balm,
mhm,
because you're going to anyways. So you might as well have it be something that your body can actually ingest and process and that is even good for you. And one of the major brands of quote unquote alternative or healthy product lines out there, and I won't say any names, although I will tell you that there's an insect that pollinates our flowers and our plants that is
mhm,
in the label. Their lip balms have ammonia as one of the ingredients. Now, why on
mm,
earth would a lip balm need ammonia?
mm.
What does ammonia do? It dries things out.
Right. So you're putting lip balm on for moisturizing and it's actually drying it out. So what do? You put more back on.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
There's no ammonia in certainly not in my own homemade lip balms, and definitely
Right.
um, not any in the Young Living lip balms, because that would be completely contrary to what their whole message is, which is that we can take care of ourselves, we can have strong immune systems, we can have strong spiritual systems and energetic and emotional systems by using these amazing plant medicines and using them on a daily basis. And what I've noticed, my own anecdotal evidence of this, is that since I started to use these essential oils, these particular essential oils, on a daily basis, I haven't had a cold.
Mm,
I certainly haven't had a flu. My digestion is improved. My sleep has improved. My skin has improved. My anxiety and stress, which I've been fortunate not to be prone to anxiety, but I'll tell you, in the last couple of years, there have been moments.
oh, yeah.
There's been
Yes.
those moments.
Hmm.
And you know, I've looked at everything that's happened in these last 9 months with COVID and political situations and so forth, and even the financial
Yeah.
situations that we're finding ourselves in right now that you alluded to. I'm calm
Yeah.
in all of this. I'm feeling confident that we will get through this. I know we will. I've
Yes.
always been an optimistic person, anyways,
Hmm.
but I think I know that using these oils daily in the way that I do has completely shifted my whole central nervous system, my whole digestive system, physical, mental, the whole thing. I can't imagine now not waking up in the morning and using my shampoo that's got essential oils in it, and then putting my essential oils in my coffee and having my water. This one has lemongrass in it today, which is an amazing, amazing essential oil and really inexpensive from Young
Hmm.
Living. I cook with the essential oils. Um, I put them in my makeup. I put them in my foundation. Young Living has a beautiful line of makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I do occasionally wear foundation. I'll put a drop or two of frankincense or elemi on the top of my, like, into the foundation bottle, and use that. I have it in my diffuser. It's in all of my products. It really is now something I can't imagine not wanting or not using, because my results have been so spectacular over the last 2 years, including my fibromyalgia symptoms.
Hmm. Hmm.
They have receded into the background for most days.
Well, one of the things I've developed is this restless leg thing and holding bruising, and you've made me a
Mm.
combination, which I'm rubbing on my legs twice a day, and it smells really good, and it's really, really soothing. And that's the thing is, this is why they need to come to you because you know how to mix the various things together. It's not just like, oh, I'm just going to take the lavender and that will it. No, create the orchestra, put
Mm-hmm.
the instruments together, see what symphony comes out of it,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
you're very good at guiding people on that. And it's the same with the lipstick. Obviously, with what I'm doing here, makeup is essential.
Mm-hmm.
um so but you can put the lip balm on your lips with the other lipstick on top if they don't have the color that you
Mm-hmm.
want, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can always protect your skin. You've got this a lovely orange base that kind of looks like a wax. When I first got it, well, what's this? Do I set fire to it or what is it? I just scrape a little off and mix it with my face cream like this and just put it all over
Yeah.
my face, and it's absolutely wonderful. So it's just be exploratory, right? Try a few things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need right now? What is essential? What
Yeah.
is the essential oil that you need right now? Is it your stress level?
Yeah.
Are you wanting to build your immune system because you're afraid of COVID? Right? Is it your family stress level, the diffuser with the oils and they're bringing
Mm-hmm.
everybody down. So
Mm-hmm.
the thing is ask your question right now. Okay, what is it that I need? How can Megan help me sort out the basics? I can build from that.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
Yeah. And I
I can
love
add.
teaching. I
Hmm.
love I love teaching people. I want people to be empowered. I don't want someone to be dependent on
Right.
me. I would rather show them how to do it themselves. And then if they choose to come back to me and buy it from me or get it from me, that's totally fine. But they know the process. There's no
Yes.
secrets. I'm very transparent.
Hmm.
Here's my recipe for making pine, or what was it? No, fir resin salve. That's what you're using for your legs right now. Here's my recipe.
Right.
I'm happy to make it for you, but now you know how I'm making it. So you understand that it is literally fancy free.
Yes.
What I'm telling you is in here is what's in here.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with all of my products. And I would rather send someone home from a counseling session with a bottle of essential oil than not send them home with a bottle of essential oil,
Hmm.
because I know that they could be continuing to do their work in between our sessions,
Yes.
and this is a tool that they can use. And I understand how our body and our psyche works, so that relationship I was talking about earlier, as soon as they pull out that bottle of essential oil or the essence spray or whatever it is, as soon as they pull it out, their body goes, oh yay, you're looking after me. Okay,
Right.
I feel better already.
Hmm.
And it
And the more
helps
people
aid
are
the
willing to
healing.
open up too, right? The once you kind of start de-stressing and your body and your psyche are more in an equilibrium, more you're willing to open up by what's bothering you.
Yes.
And also you look at it and go, you know what? Yes, this is an issue, but because of the oils and me feeling calmer, it no longer is an issue that's grabbed hold of me
Mm.
and that I can't get hold of. I can face this now. I
Yes.
can find a solution to this problem, but there is always a solution,
Yes.
always, always, always a solution. But if you're so tensed up, or you're so riddled with pain, or you're so anxious, you're
Hmm.
not going to see it. And
Yes.
so, first, I think first defense is getting that equilibrium down where, the body says, you're taking care of me. The psyche says, you're taking care of me. There's a lovely synergy going on there, a wonderful relationship, and goes, okay, thank you. This is the first stage. Now let's tackle this and let's do this and let's do that because we're in sync together.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So someone could come and see me for a session or a series of sessions, and we can do all of this work together. I do see clients online right now. I prefer in person,
Hmm.
and I'm grateful that in Victoria we're able to do that for the most part. Things might change over the winter, in which case we go back to doing it online.
Hmm.
Um, I do mentor as well. I do have a healing course called the Confident Healer. It's a 10-month course. I don't know yet if it'll be running in December or running in January, starting in January this year. We'll see how things unfold,
Right.
or it may look very different than it has in the past. But nonetheless, I can also do one-on-one mentoring of
Mm.
taking people through that learning process, and empowering them to do their own healing work and even potentially do healing work for others. And then the essential oils and the plant medicines. If somebody just wants to come in and have an assessment on essential oils and what should they use to take home, we can do that too.
Yes.
I
And
just want people to be empowered.
right. And you talked about the chakras, and a lot of people think the chakra hoo ha, is the thing is that our chakras, um, they need to be in balance. There was a wonderful woman I interviewed about the chakra foods.
Mm,
If you're craving a certain color of food, that chakra is
that's it.
craving nourishment. And we've got to feed those chakras in order to have that straight equilibrium, that balance there, because when
Mhm.
that's in balance, everything else is able to breathe physically through the body
Yeah.
and start nourishing our body and everything else. So balance is so important. As you said, about just I went and had, because I've had a few car accidents and had some bad muscle pain
Mhm.
and some weakness, and I was going into this pain clinic and they were doing magnesium
Mhm.
into, but the trouble is they'll do it in one muscle, so that side of the muscle relaxed and the other one tensed up because it was out of balance. Then, I said to them, why don't you do it both sides so the whole neck has a chance to relax? Not
Right.
just, oh no, we only do one side, but then this other side is now kind of feeling left out and is tense. And this side, it just didn't work because they
Right.
just didn't address the whole body, and they didn't address the equilibrium, the balance. And our body wants to be in sync, it wants to be in balance, it wants everything to be paid attention. If you've got a footache, it's coming from somewhere else.
Yes.
So pay
So
attention to it.
as you're saying that about the your neck. There's this really beautiful, like Young Living has some of the most amazing oils that are not available anywhere else. And this is one called Hinoiki, and it comes from Japan, and it's a cedar in the cedar family. It's very similar to Hong Kwai, which is another very ancient tree. It grows to be 1,000, 2,000 years old. The oils are used as anti-inflammatory oils. I'm just putting some on my neck right now as you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides of the neck at the same time. They're
Yes.
also considered to be longevity oils because of the way that they heal at the cellular level.
That's my
Smells
next
amazing.
order.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And the Hong Kwai, the trees are incredible. They're huge, massive trees, these 1,000-year-old trees. The oils are not harvested until the tree is at least 700 years old, and only from deadfall. So the trees are sacred. There's
Right.
this amazing sacred grove. And many of the old and ancient temples in Japan are made with the Hong Kwai wood. And these temples have been around for hundreds, if not
Mm,
thousands of years, because the oils that are in the wood preserve.
right.
And
Yes.
this is what I would want to leave people with. If they're still not really convinced that there's any value medically or otherwise to these oils, think about why the plant has these oils in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're discovering, much to our surprise, that plants are intelligent. They have an intelligence.
Oh, beautiful intelligence.
I'm
And
not
a
surprised, but
wonderful
others.
matrix and a communication and a synergy between them and no judgment. It doesn't
No
matter if you're an
judgment.
elm or an oak,
That's
they're
right.
just there for each other.
And they actually work together more than we understood before.
Oh,
We had
right.
always had this idea that they were in competition with one another, but in
Yeah.
fact they're not. They support each other, and they support, because the whole forest has to work together in order to thrive and survive. So if the oil in the plant is there as a defense against viruses, bacteria, and insects, it's going to do the same thing for us.
Yes.
If the oil is in
Yes.
the plant as an attractant, like a syrup or a resin, something sweet that attracts, then it's going to do the same thing for us. Think of jasmine, ylang ylang, neroli, lavender. These are very sensual oils, and they're
Mm,
used as aphrodisiacs because they
yes.
do create that sense of wellness and beauty within ourselves, because that's what they do for the plant. They
Right.
attract.
Yes. And it's not just maple syrup that we get from trees.
No,
Right.
although that's really good for you too,
Yes.
as long as you're getting it unadulterated.
Right, exactly. The pure maple syrup.
Yes.
And that's the thing is, and again, nature provides everything for you. It's all there. We've just got to know how to extract it ethically, how to use it in a way that really is beneficial. And
Mm-hmm.
going back to the beginning, it's simple,
Mm-hmm.
it's logical,
Yeah.
less is more,
Yeah.
right? You need so little for it to have such a big impact. It's something that you can build up. I've been, right, no, I couldn't afford to have the whole thing at once. So I've been buying one or two a month, and I'm building up my thing and, about to go into my mixes, etc.
Yeah.
And the thing about the oils, I think the most important thing before anything else it does is the well-beingness.
Yes.
If you're feeling calm, if you're feeling at ease with yourself, that
Mm-hmm.
means it's working, it's getting in there, calming your psyche and your whole anxiety down. And
Mm-hmm.
that means whatever else you put in there can really get to work without having to battle that. So I think one of the most important things that we need to do for our immune system right now is invest in the oils that are going to keep our equilibrium down, calm ourselves down, put
Mm-hmm.
ourselves in a state of, it's okay what's going on out there, I'm calm in here,
Yeah.
because that's, I think, is one of the biggest defenses that our whole immune system can have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And on all levels, mind, body, and
Yeah.
soul. It's so important that we are understanding what our psychology needs, what our psyche needs, as
Yes.
well as what our bodies need,
Yeah.
because they work together. It's a symbiotic relationship. And then what our spirit needs.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Our spirit doesn't have a voice if all it's hearing is stress and anxiety and pain.
Mm-hmm.
That it's definitely trying to speak to you, saying, it's okay, I've got you, you're not alone, this, that, etc. How can we hear it when everything about us is screaming, right? So we need to stop the screaming. We need to take the breath, have the exhale, be calm. Okay, right, I've got that pain right now. I know where it's coming from. I know what to do with it. I know
Mm-hmm.
what to apply to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get stressed out about it.
Yeah,
right? And that's,
exactly.
I think, one of the most important things right now that the world needs is de-stress,
Hmm.
because now you're actually giving your mind, body, and soul and
Hmm.
spirit the whole balance it needs in order for everything else to start healing.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. And there are tons of resources. I mean, certainly
yeah.
there's people like myself, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who wants to know more or is interested or is curious how they can get these oils and how these oils can help them, or a counseling session or an intuitive energy massage session. There's lots of different ways that I can show up for people. And there are lots of incredible healers out there in the world who are really dedicated and committed to helping people heal.
Yes.
Find someone that's a fit for you
Right.
and do the work. You will be so grateful to yourself for having taken that time, effort, and investment to do the work. Because when you can show up fully and confidently in your authentic, healthy self, you send out a ripple effect. And
Mm.
that's the effect that you want to have on the world.
The
Not a
good
big old stress bag,
vibrations.
the
The
good
good
vibration.
vibrations. Absolutely. They ripple out. It's like when Harry met Sally, what's she doing? I want what she's got.
Yes.
It is. I have a gentleman on this week, Stephen DeSadie, and he's the mentor's the coach's coach. He's just got a, we call him the whiteboard king, because you can ask him a question and he just is able to kind of
Mm,
unravel it. But he was saying it's all very well the inspiration. It's all very well that you're inspired by this show. But if you
hmm.
don't take action, if you don't reach out to the
Yes.
practitioner, all it is an inspiration. We want to activate,
Yeah.
your actionism, because these are things that are going to resolve the issue that you have. They're going to bring about that balance and equilibrium. They're going to help heal your mind, body, and soul. Therefore, you can be more creative and more productive in your life. You are going to be able to see and pivot into different directions
Yeah.
because you are calm enough to see what's in front of you. So it's not just be inspired, oh, these oils are wonderful, that was a great show. It's
Hmm.
about reach out to Megan, because she can help you mind, body, and soul, not only with her own skills and her own beautiful intuitive healing work, but also with the right oils that you need right now in order for you to get your life back into a place where you feel you are in sync.
Yes.
And now you could start making better choices for yourself. So please take the actionism and reach out to Megan. And how do they reach out to you, love?
They can find me at my website, which is meganedge.ca. I'm also on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook under Megan Edge Healing. Our YouTube channel, we have over 300 and I think almost 400 videos that are of workshops that I've
Mm.
given, of teachings that I've done, of meditations and visualizations. There's so many resources there. And if you're not sure what it's like to work with me, go to my YouTube channel and
Yep.
see me in action, and
Yes.
you'll know if it's a fit or not. On Facebook, we do have a public group for the essential oils, which is called the Essentials Roundtable with Megan Edge and Susan Seal, who's another wonderful, amazing healers who's gone through all my courses and is a healer in her
Mm.
own right as well. And this is a public forum. This is where you can come with your questions. We're always posting information, resources, articles. It's very scientifically based, but we also go into the spiritual and the emotional effects of these oils. And it's a really beautiful community. And then also doing your own research.
Yeah.
There are so many resources out there. I'm happy to direct you to those resources. And then, of course, if you want to work with these particular oils, which I highly recommend, then come to me and let's get you set up so that you can have these oils in your life every
Yes.
day. Also,
Yes.
you can email me. Phone, don't bother phoning me.
Right.
It's just that I don't answer my phone very often,
Mhm.
but I love an email or a message on Messenger or LinkedIn, all those sorts of places. That's your best bet to get me is through
And
email.
the email is?
Email is megan@meganedge.ca. And you can also get that through my website as well.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the fastest way that I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been using the oils just in the raw form, as I said, I'm about to do some mixing now.
Mm,
I had a little diffuser,
mm,
right by my computer here. I'm, 7 hours a day on here, and, sometimes you just feels a little foggy
mm,
and just a little sniff of something. Oh, okay, right, back to clarity.
yeah.
Um, they work. They
Mm-hmm.
work, but it does mean that don't just order them and put them on the shelf. Find ways to really utilize them where they can dance together. This one goes well with that one. As you said, lavender, peppermint, and lemon.
Mm-hmm.
together. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm feeling stressed out, or, or my boss, or where's the next job, or the kids are driving me crazy, my husband's driving me up the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways of diffusing, because when we're clear, when we're calm, we see things for what they really are, and we don't get so stressed out about it or so upset about it. We see
That's
the
right.
solution. We
Yep.
can't see that through a cloud of pain and anxiety and stress. We can't.
Yeah.
So,
And if you're not sure where to begin, begin
yes,
with oils that you're already familiar with.
yes,
You've seen lavender oil, peppermint oil, eucalyptus, rose, grapefruit, citruses. You've gone into health food stores, you've seen them on Amazon, you've gone to your grocery store. You know what they look like and what they are, but please don't use those ones.
yes,
Find a reputable grower and distiller and distributor of these oils. There are other companies out there. Young Living is not the only one. Young Living is the leader.
hmm
Um, but if you've got another company that you're interested in, please, by all means, as long as you know that these oils are of that therapeutic grade and you know how they've been grown,
yes,
where they come from, and you trust them, those are the oils that I want you to work with. So get a starter kit from one of these companies like Young Living, or get just a few oils, the ones that you know, and notice the difference when you work with them, because it really, it's not what I say, it's not what Sarah says, doesn't matter what
yeah.
anybody else
You've got
says.
to try it for yourself.
You
Yeah,
have to have a relationship with these oils. And now I love these. They come with me everywhere I go. I have
right.
3 boxes and I pack them to the cottage and I pack them over to here and I pack them over to there. They're part
They're
of the family.
essential,
They're
right?
essential.
Yeah,
That's right. They are essential. And my body loves me for the fact that I'm using
right.
oils.
That you place. Well, it's just like we would with our vitamins and minerals and everything else. Your oils are that. They
Yep.
feed you on that basis. And as I said, Christmas is around the corner. What do we buy, people? Everybody's a little bit strapped right now.
Yeah.
A packet of these lip balms, or, splitting them up and putting one in each stocking, or whatever the case is.
Yep.
Believe me, they will love them.
They
Guy or
will.
girl, they will love them. And
Mm-hmm.
if you know somebody that's going through an awful lot of stress right now, maybe a little bottle of lavender for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
this
And
this is a personal gift you're giving
yeah.
of health and wealth, to
Yeah.
them.
Young Living has 25 oils. There might be more now because they brought in some new oils to Canada this year, but there's at least 25 oils in mostly 15 ml sizes. So those are the ones with 300 drops in a bottle for under $25. So if
Hmm.
you've got like that office gift thing you have to do, or the
Yeah.
family gift thing where you're only allowed to spend 20 bucks,
Yes.
$20, there's so many to choose from. And
Yeah.
they've got another 25 under $50.
Right.
So there's lots of options for how you can work with them. And then, like you say, the lip balms, and they've got a makeup line and
Hmm.
vitamins and minerals, and it's why shop anywhere else?
Right. Exactly.
I know it sounds like a commercial now, but honestly,
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, I
it's
started off with one or
one-stop
two, and
shopping.
it keeps growing and growing, and it's because I like the stuff. I like what it
Mm-hmm.
does, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a complicated exercise I need to do, or a meditation I need to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
stressed. Calm down. It can go with me anywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I'm just loving the Hong Kwai. I'm still smelling
Yeah,
it.
I want
It's like,
that sounds wonderful, and I certainly do need something for my neck, because although I love what I'm doing and this is what I'm meant to do it for, the body doesn't always like it because it's in the
mm-hmm,
sitting position.
mm-hmm.
So having an oil that can loosen those things up would be absolutely great. That's my next order for sure.
Okay. All right. I'll help you with that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. This is our second show where we've talked about your work, which is wonderful, and obviously about the oils. And I've been using them for a while. I'm a huge advocate for the oils, the right oils, because I know they do work.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is why the show again is called Your Health is Your Choice, because it's your choice how you invest in your health. And if you are stressed out right now, if you do have an ailment or a pain or something that you can't quite identify, let Megan help you. She's been doing this a while, and along with everything else that she does, that she's put together as her own orchestra. She can help you unravel this. You've got this pain, maybe it's that. Let's distress. Let's now look at where that ailment is. Let's try this. Let's try that. And just be willing to explore and try things, because you will notice not only it's better for you naturally, but how you'll start just feeling so much better overall. in
Mhm.
everything else in your life. But this
Mhm.
isn't a quick fix. This isn't
No,
a one bottle of lavender is going to solve everything,
no.
you know? So yes, buy according to what you can afford. Start building up, start mixing, and then you'll really start seeing those benefits grow and grow and grow. But have a conversation with Megan of what you need. You know, it's maybe you do need the counseling along with the oils in order to kind of just totally get your focus back, get your life back, and
Mm,
really start living the way you're meant to be living, right?
I love it. Yes. Living the way that you are meant to be living and the way you want to be living.
Yeah.
And I can help you get clear on the how you want to be living it. And
Yes.
once we know what that is, then the action becomes the alchemy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all know kind of at the core, but we don't really know how to get to the core because of all the other things in the way.
Hmm.
So start peeling all of that away. And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, my core is, thank you, you found me. Now we can go into actionism, you
Yes.
know.
Yes. And I
But
will hold your hand and I will
yeah,
support you. But honestly, I won't heal you. That's up to
no.
you. That's your
Yeah,
job.
all you are is the, you know, is the tool that they need to apply.
I am the conduit and the
Yes.
facilitator. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
absolutely.
So it is up to us, you know, all the answers are there. You know, known Megan now for a while. She's a wonderful soul.
Mm,
All the work that she does is she really does it, you know, from a place of heart. And she really trusts, and you can see it in the work that she does, her soul intuition. She allows that knowingness to go through her, to guide her to what you need for you.
mhm.
So please reach out to her, meganedge.ca, not .com, .ca, and just start exploring. Look at the YouTube videos, uh, place an order, or just simply ask her, great, all right, this is me as a mess. What do I need? Where do you start unraveling? And you know what, folks?
Yes.
It's okay to say you're a mess.
Yes, it is. You're not here
First
to be
step.
perfect. You're here to be
First step,
human.
I'm a mess. My life is completely rough. I have to admit, COVID's got to me. You know, it's okay. It's okay.
It is indeed. Yes.
Wonderful to have you back on here again, Megan.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I always enjoy our conversations. And thank you for having this amazing platform where you allow voice to be heard and you give us a space to have that voice. We really appreciate it.
Now, what it wouldn't happen without people like you. So thank you for sharing your voice.
You're welcome.
meganedge.ca. Oils have been around since the beginning of time. They have been used in healing and in everything since the beginning of time. Start really investigating what they can do for you, because I promise once you do, there'll be no turning back. There'll just be a beautiful path moving forward. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to bringing you more shows. Please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows and you will see the incredible lineup of genres and shows that we have for you. We are here to make a difference in your life. Thank you for listening.